I mean, before you go do Oddball with Izzy, give me all the best stuff that you have on Michael Malone so you can't use it on your own show.
Great strategy. Number one, big FU goes out to the Denver Nuggets organization. This was supposed to be a nice, easy day for me. Instead, I have to do 3 different podcasts just because they can't hold their together.
What's the best stuff you have?
You know you can say no.
Don't you want news? I mean,
yeah, you would think that you would get excited by content, but okay.
Sometimes slow and dry. Remember, guys, let them cook.
No, this isn't content. This is mania, right? There's a mania that's infecting our league, and it's this idea that I'm doing my team a favor by firing the coach 3 or 4 or however many games before the end of the season. I'm doing my new head coach, the interim head coach, a favor by giving him the reins. Like, here, have this hot potato. And by the way, I'm showing respect to, in both the instances in the last couple of weeks, the best coach you've ever had in your blah, blah, blah life. I was going to cuss, but I realized we're still live. So
thank you for not.
Yeah, no, I do it for you. But it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. You're not putting anyone in a position to be successful when you do this, right? That's number one. Number two is between Coach Malone and Coach Smith, Coach Mike Brown, earlier this year, we've got 2 instances of guys who are getting fired from what I see as holding guys accountable. Men being fired for holding other grown men accountable. Look, he's mean to me. Huh? Like what do you think this is? What do we think we're trying to do here? We're trying to win games, and sometimes asking pretty please is not an option. And so it's ridiculous that the organization would not back their coach in that situation. Now, Denver has other issues in that there was behind-the-scenes tension between the GM, Calvin Booth, and the head coach, Michael Malone. But they fired the GM, too. So what exactly did we solve
in your
here?
history watching the league? Have you ever seen this or something that rivals this in terms of puzzling, universally received as puzzling because you're knocking out both your leaders with this as the timing?
No. I mean, I would say yes, Memphis, but these guys said, hold my beer, and they one-upped them. And so it's something that I don't know that I thought Memphis was kind of isolated. I'm worried now that there's a precedent now. Hey, if your coach says something that you don't like, just let him go. Doesn't matter what he's accomplished for your downtrodden organization.
I'm looking at this as the obvious result of what's happened the last 15 years, combined with the generational gulf of holding players accountable. No, we've got to do it differently because the 20-year-olds have the actual guaranteed money power here.
Dan, having actual guaranteed money power doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean anything unless you give it credence, right? The organization is what gives it credence when we talked about this before, not with Memphis. Who was it? I think it was Sacramento. But the idea that when LeBron James comes to Pat Riley and says, don't you ever get the itch. Like, that's a seminal moment. That's a seminal moment in organizational history where it is demonstrated at the highest level. We don't play that here.
Yeah, but look at what just happened to him and them.
But the difference is, Dan, is that you can do that and then set the standard and set the expectation, or you can listen to the whispers and the murmurs and the rumblings and say, oh, yeah, well, once you start to entertain, you have already started to erode any sort of authority that the coach might have. And I don't mean authority like, I'm your boss, do what I say. I mean authority like, hey, man, we have a plan. It's my job to come up with the plan. It's your job to execute the plan. If you execute the plan and the plan sucks, my bad. I'll take it. But if you don't ever get to executing the plan, then we'll never know.
Does this not feel to you in some way, as someone who really loves basketball and understands how the basketball leadership works, does it not feel to you like your way, your thinking of accountability is generationally behind now, that there has been a sea change here, that this is a symbol for, but the way that you think about these things, about how to govern people from a different generation who have a different relationship with work, perhaps, than Michael Malone does, This represents a sea change that leaves the Bill Belichick way, the Pat Riley way, the Michael Malone way, leaves it a little more behind than it was yesterday.
I'll say this. There's been a formula for success in our league for damn near 80 years. And it doesn't include we don't have to work that hard. All the successful ones, all the champions, all the great ones, they all bust their ass. They all bust their ass on the court. They all bust their ass watching film. They understood the plays. They understood their opponents. They were prepared. That's a constant. Like you could say, hey, Gen Z, they don't. The constant is the work. You look at the Celtics last year. You look at the Nuggets 2 years ago, the Warriors, et cetera, et cetera. The teams at the top, beyond the good luck of health, beyond obviously having talent, it's discipline and it's hard work. Nobody's skating here. And if you think you can skate to a championship and you're firing your coach because he's not letting your guys skate, then you're part of the problem.
They have championship expectations there. We did a cursory look. I think the best, most recent example is Ty Lue, midseason coaching change, went on to win the NBA championship for a team in the Cavs that had championship aspirations. Have you ever seen anything this late in the season actually work?
It's never happened before. First of all, we'll start. It's never been this late. Taylor Jenkins was already kind of the latest of a good coach, right? Now, Michael Malone is the latest of any coach, even a bad coach, right? So when you talk about Ty Lue, that's different. That was more like Adrian Griffin, where they could see clearly this isn't working, and we've given this guy
Blatt didn't have the pedigree.
He didn't have the pedigree. He didn't understand the language. You talk about Dan, the language of generational gap. David Blatt didn't understand the NBA language. Like he did not know how to operate and how to interact with people.
It seems as though that was the case against Malone, though. He wasn't connecting with his guys.
No, I'm talking about David Blatt didn't connect with.
No, I understand. I understand.
It's the difference between I don't speak English at all, and I'm not saying that literally. I don't speak NBA basketball as a language versus these group of guys are starting to tune out. And by the way, when you talk about these group of guys, here's the other part of this. The tension between Calvin Booth and Michael Malone was that Michael Malone wanted vets, which is, by the way, how you win championships. And Calvin Booth says, no, play these young guys who make mistakes and don't watch film and aren't as committed. And that's a hard gulf to overcome as an organization.